Brad Williams, Excel Prime. This one, count longest set of consecutive numbers. This one, I'm just going to show you. I think showing is better than telling. Here, we have a basic setup of the random. You hit F9. And what we're going to do is if there's a consecutive set of numbers, we're going to find the max number. In other words, is it 6 consecutive? Is it 3? Is it, well, continue hitting F9, and you can see there's 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have a 0. So 0 breaks this thing. We're going to use max frequency in columns. Why? Well, we have to kind of trick this entire formula into playing around with this frequency function, which is, as you know, is a challenge. Here, you can read this. I'm going to try to explain it. The formula, max frequency if. So we have two ifs. We have a logical test, and then we have this other. So we have these nested ifs, which you're going to scratch your head going, what? Well, look at frequency. We look at frequency, we have a data array, and then we have a bins array. That's really what we're setting up here. Let's look at this bins array. We have if C5, if this list here is equal to 0, then put the column number in there. Then, if you look at this data array, we're going to look at this data array, if 9, and it says if C5 is greater than 0, column C5H5. Here's the bins array right here. Notice if we go C5, if C5H5 is equal to 0, column C5H5. Interpreting this, is C5 equal to 0? If it is, then put the column number. Otherwise, it's going to go to false. We go here and we have no zeros. I'm going to hit F9 until we find a 0. Notice here we have C5 is greater than 0. D5 is greater than 0. E is greater than 0. Then G. G is equal to 0. The equation was equal to 0. Sorry, I said greater than. Notice we have false, 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 false. And then we have the bin number 7. Well, what does it say? Equals column. Well, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So we're going to dump that in there. We're going to go and we're going to look up at this other argument here, which is going to say, what is our data array? Well, we're going to say the same thing. If C5 is greater than 0, then put the column number in there. Think about this. If it's greater than 0, we're going to get a number. If not, we're going to get a false. Just like we did here, if it's false, then put false. Otherwise, put the column number. Well, we're going to do the same thing here. Crazy, yeah, I know. Here, we have C5 greater than 0. Well, is 4 greater than 0? Yeah, we're asking for column C, which is 3. Then we're going to go up to the frequency function. Here, frequency is going to go the data array, F9, 3, 4, 5, 6, false. 3, 4, 5, 6, false. And that's just driven off of our bins array. Keep in mind, we have this data array, F9, and then we have this bins array, F9, and false, 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 7, false. What happens there? This is going to go over into max. Got this? And then frequency. We have frequency, so then we have this max, and it's going to go 4, 1. Based on what? Well, our bins, if you look at frequency, this is frequency right here. It's going to produce, this is 4, 1. It's going to look at this 4, 1. This is the output of frequency right there. 4, 1, it spills. Then max is going to look at this 4, 1, and it's going to find the max. Here we have the same thing, and if we look at frequency, it's going to go F9, 3, 4, 5, and then bins array, F9. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Frequency, F9. If you want to look at this thing, I don't know if I can do this. Frequency, F9. Then we go to max and F9. And it's going to go 5, 0, 5, 0. Why? If you look at this thing, here is frequency for this column right here. This is frequency. It spills. You have to keep in mind the bins array here. This is what's critical here. How many bins are there? We have 3, 4. These are frequencies, and they go into this bin. This would be the false bin. This would be 2. Then the next bin would be the falses, which is going to be 3. Okay, those are our bins. Crazy as it is, remember, we're working with frequency, and we have to throw these things into bins, and that's the logic there. Not something we're gonna talk about over dinner, but it's just, this is just the way this crazy thing works. Looking at it from a different perspective, what are our bins? They're all false, right? That's one bin. That's one bin, and the entire data array is going to go where? Into false. It would be as though there's a true, false, 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 false. There should only be 4 bins. It's at F9 again. 3. That's okay. Here we have 1, 4. 1, 4. Notice here, if we go into this data array, we're going to have 1 bin, and we hit this F9. This is going to be 1 bin, false. Then 0, the 4s don't count. We're going to have 4 falses, which will be another bin. Over here, read it. Might give you a better overview of what this logic's all about. Try to wrap your head around this crazy combination. It works, but it's not something that that's gonna come to you in a flash. Maybe it does, but to me it took a while to design and to implement, and I'm still, I mean, I had help on this, and I'm still kind of, well, this frequency thing, it's just the logic there, but I get it. And trying to explain it and trying to design it are 2 different things. And hopefully you guys will get it. Comment otherwise. This is a good one. This one will put you to task here. And Brad Williams, XL Prime.